prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's going on, Volunteer Roadshow? We're back, and Billy, you know, we've grown a lot in the last 2 years. You know, I started out with a camera phone and a YouTube channel. This September will be 2 years. And you know what today is? Today is 40 days until football time in Tennessee. Everybody's favorite number 40, Billy Ratliff. How you doing, my man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great, man. I just still can't believe it's only 40 days to kickoff time, man. It just don't seem like it goes that quick when I play, but now it comes around like it's Christmas every time now.
It's called getting old, my friend.
That's what
Let me ask
is,
you a
man.
question. You're number 40. How did you get that number? Did you have that number in high school, or is there anything special behind that number?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know how I ended up with the number 40. You know, high school, I was several numbers because I had played offense, defense, and, you know, they tried to hide me in high school where 56, 58, 45, 42, it didn't matter. I just played. They put a jersey on me, and I did what I had to do. And when I got to Tennessee, I mean, they just gave me a jersey. I didn't have a choice of picking out what number I wanted. I mean, so the number 40 wasn't symbolic to anything, you know. And, of course, like when they gave me the jersey, I just remember, you know, the people that played in it before me were Shazam Bradley and Bill Bates. And I remember times where I come in to my locker in the summertime, and Shazam Bradley was sitting in my locker, and I'm like, hold on, man, I don't know who this guy is, man. And I heard about Shazam that, you know, he was this, you know, boxing, knocking people out and stuff, and I wasn't about to test Shazam, man. I was like, you know, just sitting next to him to the next locker, like in Larry Binion's locker 41, getting dressed and stuff. I didn't tell him to move. I was just like, what's up, man? How you doing? And he told me who he was, and he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, man, I'm in your locker, and he gave me my locker. So yeah, number 40 wasn't symbolic to anything, man. They just gave me the number.
Well, that's awesome. See, these are the stories I want the fans to hear on the Volunteer Roadshow. We've launched our website, Billy. We've got a great website guy, Dennis. We've still got a lot more tweaks to do. Just bear with us. But y'all could go over to volunteerroadshow.com and check out. We got some articles. Luke A. Thomas and one of the guys that fills in for me, Josh Griffin, he wrote a really good article. Did you read that article there, Billy?
Yeah, it was great, man. I didn't realize Josh was that good of a writer, man. I was like, wow, this is very professional. I mean, it's very personal. I mean, you can tell that his heart was in it, and it was a good article. So I'm glad he's on board, man. We got a steal with him.
Yeah, we sure did. And another announcement. It just seems like every time we turn around, we've got another announcement. But I'm just glad that this particular player we're going to bring on is going to be our first guest on our new YouTube channel. It's also going to be a section on volunteerroadshow.com on our website called Roadshow Locker Room. And let me tell you about the locker rooms. You know, I've always been known as the nice guy. You know, I don't get too animated. It's not that I can't dish out the trash talk, Billy. I want you to know I can give it like the best of them. But y'all got to remember, sometimes my mom watches our show. So I got to remember Mom might be watching. And then as we started to grow and I brought you on board, now we got sponsors. So I can't say everything I want, but guess what? In the locker room, Catfish and Billy and our guests can say whatever they want. They don't have to sugarcoat it. I can come after Uncle Lou and tell him all the things I wanted to tell him about his videos that he's done about our Tennessee Vols over there on the locker room. So y'all go check it out. The link's in the description. I'll probably pin this particular interview with our next guest in the comments section. And Billy, we've had Philip Fulmer on, we've had Bob Kessling, we've had Megatron, Antron Peebles on, we've had Jeff Hall, and then your roommate, number 35, Sean Johnson. What'd you say his nickname again was? Something Shocker. What was that?
He got so many, man. We just call him Sean J, man. The Shocker is something totally different, man. We had to talk about that off the air, man. So it's a long story with that one, man.
But I want you to go ahead and introduce this next guest. I remember him well. When I did that video of yours of your last two plays, it had the lineup of our starters come up in those clips of your last two plays of your career. And this guy was in it. We had a beast back then, man. We had a lineup. We had a squad on defense back in 98 and 99, and this particular player, one of my favorites, was on the list. Go ahead and introduce your boy.
Well, guys, hey, I got one of my favorite guys, man, one of my best friends, man. He actually was one of my roommates, too, after college, when he went off into the XFL, the one and only Fred White, number 2. We call him A.K.A. Deuce. What's going on, Deuce, man? How you doing, my man?
What's up, Juan? How you doing, baby?
Hey, man, I'm blessed, man. I'm just happy to hear your voice, man. It's been a while since I got a chance to talk to you, rap with you, man. And now that you're down in Atlanta, I just moved to Knoxville. And I thought I was getting back close to you, but you're still right down the street, man. What's going on, man?
Right down the street.
Yes,
during football season, baby, I'll be right there. Now, I heard some of your guests that you already had. I promise you, it'll be a little bit more fun than the rest of those guys.
Oh, man. And I'm going to tell you this, man. I'm going to get right down into it, Fred, man. And I'm going to put you on the spot because I know what you're going to give it. You're going to give it to me just the way I want it, man. What do you think about my team on the hill over here with the Volunteers, the 2019 team? And what you think about the guys, man?
Our team, our Volunteers,
yes.
Our VFLs?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what I think this year, man. Last year I was just trying to, you know how it is, Big Worm. A lot of people don't realize when the first year coach comes in, all of us, we'll show you some love, but we're going to be watching. We're paying attention to what you're doing, how you coach, how how the guys respond to you, how you run your practice. And we can see through the BS. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can see through the BS when somebody can coach and when they can't coach. I remember telling y'all a few years ago about Butch, and I said, I don't know if he can coach. I mean, he sound good, but I don't know if he can coach, like technique-wise. And I remember y'all telling me, well, we'll see. And I was like, man, I go to practice on the regular, so I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
What I see from these guys, this group, I'm going to talk about these coaches first. I saw a group of guys coaching kids up technique-wise, and if you watch last season, you watched a group of guys who every week they got better. Even though if you know the game, you understand techniques. Yes. Where outside contain, where the linebacker feels, where the defensive end feels, where the safety comes up and makes a tackle, those type of things. You watch and you pay attention. Okay, these guys are doing this right. They can't get to the play just yet, but they're doing it right. So they're coaching them in the right way. Mm-hmm. I look at this year and say, well, how we played against Auburn last year and how we played against Kentucky last year, those weren't flukes. First year group, these guys are, riding with their coaches, they're understanding, they're learning from them. But this is the second year in this program, second year with a good strength coach. These guys have gotten stronger. And if you listen to the SEC Network, when they had the SEC Media Days, Coach brought up the point that he only had two 300-pound linemen.
Wow.
Now they have 15.
Wow.
That means they've been busting their butts in the weight room. They get the nutrition right. And I feel like these guys are bought in because these guys want to win. A lot of these guys came from winning programs in high school, and they want to win. I think this is the year that Tennessee can win. And I didn't think this before. I saw some of summer workouts, before I saw spring practice, and just little things. I'm like, okay, I see a little bit more of what I want to see from our program. I see more toughness. I see more want to and will. I see more attitude. I see that these guys are taking on the attitude of their coaching staff. And that's what I see. Now, you still have to call the X's and O's. You got to call the plays and those type of things. But I promise you, I've never seen it bad let me say this again. I don't want to. I'm not gonna jinx my team. I can't do that. But Coach Chaney's gonna make a difference. He's making a difference, a big difference. And last year, I got tired of people talking about changing quarterbacks. Let me tell y'all something. Jared Garantano is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And I'm saying it not because I'm a UT guy, because if you pay attention and watch, drop passes, having time to throw, those type of things, you look at the other quarterbacks who are better than him statistically, he still threw less interceptions than them. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. They don't pay attention to the fact that he didn't throw the ball away. He didn't turn it over to the other squad. He gave everything he had on that football field. He had to pick himself up from off the ground several times last year. So he had to learn how to run and throw the ball under stress all the time. However, 15 guys above 300 pounds. That offensive line play, if we can get these young guys to play and have the rest of those guys come in and do what they have to do and make sure that this guy's upright and has time to throw, you're about to see a really good season from a quarterback that no one thought could do it. Everybody wants to say, well, he hasn't won this game yet. If you pay attention to what's going on the field, you watch his reads, his check downs, how he goes from receiver 1, receiver 2, receiver 3, 3, 4, boom, and he got somebody open. And he's doing this while he's under pressure constantly. When you see this kid this year, when he has time, he can put the ball anywhere he wants to put the ball on the field. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions because his arm talent, meaning where he can place the ball on the football field, is one of the best in the country. He can do that. He can make throws that a lot of guys cannot make in college football right now. But you can't see that when he's on the ground, when he's getting sacked behind the line of scrimmage, when 2 or 3 guys are hanging on him. But you can't see that when he has time. And that's the one thing people will see this year. I think our defense will be a lot better. I thought they played pretty good at times last year. And you know yourself, Big One. The one thing about a team, it's a team effort. Team effort. It ain't just the offense. It's not just the defense. It's not just the special teams.
Yes.
It's everything working in unison. All of that is in the game maxims. And they're so true still to this day. So I feel like if we can make those things happen, which I think we can, I think we can win about 8, anywhere between 7 and 9 games. Depending on whether we win against Georgia or Florida or Mississippi State. That's our swings right there. But I see a team that's coming together that can get some things done. And I'm impressed and I'm excited because everybody's counting them out. Like, nobody's really giving them, Tennessee fans, we always, every year at the beginning of the season, we have hope. But it's a little more than hope this year for me. I see something that I haven't seen in a while. And I see that fire. I see that confidence. I see these boys having fun again. I see them loving to play the game now, not just being on the team. I see a group of guys ready to get something done. I feel like these guys are playing in Florida somewhere in January or late December, one or the other.
Well, Fred, when I started thinking about this next team, this next season, just the first reaction was 7-5. But the further I get away from 2018 and 2017, I really think 8-4 and 9-3 is doable. You need some breaks. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. We've let South Carolina, them Coots, off the hook the last 2 years. We had them beat last year down in Columbia, and our defense just ran out of gas. The year before that with Butch Jones, I don't even want to talk about that. It was 1st and goal from the 5, and all we had to do was score, and we would have won. We let them off the hook then, but we ain't letting them off the hook again. And I have a hard time
counting. And then not only that, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. But let me ask you a question. Let's go back into the time machine. Us Vol fans, we've got to go back to your day to really start sticking our chest out and feeling real good about our team. Tell me what it was about that late 90s team that made them so special. What was it about the team? Andron said we was a family. That was what everybody's told us. It was a family, but I know it's got to be more than that. Tell us about that team and your perspective.
I'll tell you three things. Three of the main things. We had talent. We had chemistry. And we were a family. Yep. And we played for each other every single play. We practiced for each other. We worked hard for each other. You couldn't come in and work out with us and give us half. There's no way you could possibly do that. Nobody will let you do that. I'll be honest with you. If you came and you gave us half effort that day, you got to get off my football field. And you make some noise, you might get beat up in the locker room. The thing was, we had so much chemistry that if somebody came to me and told you were slacking that day, you already knew I either got to pick it up or I'm going to fight somebody back in the locker room because they don't play this. Because we're looking for perfection. We weren't looking for – we were trying to be great. We weren't just trying to be a football team that was okay. And no, we were trying to be great. And that greatness, if you got in the way of what we were trying to get done, you either had to get out of our school, off our team and out of our school, or you got to get with it. One or the other. Now, I'm not trying to talk bad about guys who left, but I promise you, the guys who left during that time, they just couldn't get with the program because they already knew we weren't playing with them. And it was us. We had to go out there and get it done. It was about us going out there and get the job done, and everybody had the same common goal. And yes, and Charles was right, and I know Billy said this too, but to this day, still to this day, 80-something people on the team? Mm-hmm. I can call every last one of them guys. I can call them and answer the phone.
Yes, sir. And
every last one.
And I can contest to that because I'm the same way. Because, anytime anybody need a phone number or anything like that, they'll call me. And if I don't have the number, the first person I have to call is Fred. Deuce, he always have that number, even if they change their phone number. So he always kept everybody together. And even to this day, if there is an event that's going on and, I always say thank Fred for this all the time because if it wasn't for him, a lot of times there wouldn't be that many of the ex-guys coming back to some of the functions that we have. And he's done a great job of this. And I tell him this all the time, man, thank you. And we talk about this all the time. Like, if Miss Jackson calls and she needs one of her baby's phone numbers and she don't have it, guess who she's calling? She's either calling me, and if I don't have it, she's calling Fred. And it's always been that way. Yep. And, it go all the way around, not just us. Everybody has those numbers. And you want to, contribute like that. It's the best thing ever when it comes to the word volunteer. And that's what makes us so special. And that's why everybody keeps saying the exact same thing. Catfish is family, man. It's the same thing where until you have that foundation to stick together like that, that house would never be built to be able to stand those kind of wins that can come through with the SEC. And that's the things that I say all the time. Family first. You always take care of family, and that's what we've always done with each other when we played on that team back in the day. And that's the thing that I'm thinking that Pruitt is bringing back, and I think that's what Coach Fulmer is looking for in a coach, to bring that same special bond back where the players want to be involved with each other, not too many individual cliques and stuff. Is one family, one beat. If it's not the same, it's not going to work. I'm afraid,
a few years ago, let me say this real quick. A few years ago, we were getting ready to do our 97 reunion, right? And I don't know why someone said this, but it was brought up about, well, this guy was a scholarship guy, this guy was a walk-on guy. I stopped everybody in the meeting. I said, hold on, whoa. Let me say this real quick. On our team, we didn't have walk-ons and scholarship guys. We had a team. Plain and simple. I hung out with every player on my team, regardless of whether they were walk-on, regardless of whether they had a scholarship. It didn't matter. We all hung out with each other. I hung out with every last guy on our team, every last guy. And that's what made us win. We made the guys who were walk-ons or who were scout team or whatever, sometimes they were scholarship guys as well. If they saw us, slacking that day, they would get on our butts too. So they are just as important as the guys who started on Saturday night and were the superstars as anybody else. They're just as important. So that's what made our family so good, and so that's why we play so hard for each other.
Before we get into the real talk and take this conversation over to the unfiltered section of our show, I've got to ask you something, Billy. We've asked everybody this same question. With every player we've had, I've asked you the same thing. Give me one or two of your fondest memories on the field of Deuce, Fred White.
Bobby, there's so many, man. There's so many. and and I'll go first, man. Fred was a special kid, man. It's just the one thing I remember about Fred, man, when we first got here in '95, Fred was one of those freakish athletes too. He was a track star. He was super fast. I mean, he was faster than the guys that was on the team when we got here our freshman year. So when they're running the miles or running the sprints and stuff, the upperclassmen, they always had that pace where they was together, where they know they can get the time and everything. Where Fred, he was going like 200,000 miles per hour, where he almost lapping the guys, and these guys they are mad as I don't know what at Fred. Fred's like, man, I didn't know. I mean, this is what I'm used to doing. So, And it was just like, wow, man, this dude here is flying, man. And of course me, first thing everybody tell him is, man, you ain't got enough hours to be doing that kind of stuff, man. You're a young buck.
You don't have any spice yet.
And that kind of stuff right there, though, man. That's what made us so good, man. The competition was 24/7, whether we was on the field or off the field. I mean, and of course off the field, it was, Fred, he always thought he can play video games really well, like Madden, College, and of course, there's not too many people that can step up to the sticks to me on the video games. Even to this day, I don't even play the game, but you put me on there, it's an automatic L. But, the confidence that he had already won, even though he was going to lose. So, I always love his confidence, man. He would never to this day say he lost to anything.
Bobby, to this day, I'm telling you, I think Billy Ratliff had a cheat code on the game.
Hey,
Fred,
when we had Antron on, he said he wanted to see the team get back to fighting on the practice field and then go back to Gibbs Hall and play some Tiger Woods and some Madden. Was Billy really that good?
Yeah, he was that good. Yeah, he was that good. Yeah, he was. Like I said, I'm telling you, I really believe he had a cheat code. I think he called Madden, the company, and they gave him, I think EA Sports called him and gave him a cheat code so he can win every game. I'm serious, man. I mean, just be down to the last 13 seconds of the game, he not going to throw a bomb and win it on the last second touchdown. Like, are you serious? How does that happen? Who throws a Hail Mary and wins in a video game? Nobody. Come on, man.
God. Let me ask you a question, Fred. What is one of your fondest memories? Andron talked about how fast Billy was for a big guy, but what do you have about Billy that people on the Volunteer Roadshow, before we get out of here and get into the real talk over in the locker room, tell me something about your boy Billy, some of your fondest memories.
I got two quick things. When I first got to campus, we had 3 days of freshman practice, right? And this big guy is in the linebacker line. And he's like 6'3", probably about 245, 250, maybe 260 at the time. And he is moving so fast. And you're like, man, who is that? Who's that dude right there? Oh, that's Billy Ratliff. Man, where is he from? He's from Mississippi. I'm like, wait a minute, what position does he play? It was like linebacker. We were like, ain't no way in this. Oh, my God. Who is this dude? I ain't never seen a linebacker that big run that fast. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I don't know if I'm ever going to get on the football field at Tennessee if we got linebackers running like that. And then the other thing was that one of the most impressive things I've ever seen, Billy was, everybody talks about how fast he was as a defensive lineman. We're talking about a guy who was 6'3", 85 pounds, and can run a 4.58 40. I mean, that's a freakish athlete if you ask me. I mean, that's a freak of nature right there. And I was watching a game the other day. I was watching us play against UCLA in 1996. And I'm watching a defensive line that had Leonard Little, Jonathan Brown, Billy Ratliff, and Ron Green. And I'm sitting there watching how fast the defense is. I'm sitting there trying to figure out to myself, how did Cayman – I know Cayman now looked across that line and thought to himself, I'm never going to get this ball off because they're going to kill me out here. And literally so fast, I don't know if I've ever seen a defensive lineman play at Tennessee be that fast ever again. But Big Worm got hurt one year towards ACL. And literally the next day, he was upstairs. We had a basketball. He was in Stokely, just in the gym, just dunking. Like, dude, you just tore your ACL. What are you doing? Well, man, the doctor said it ain't gonna mess it up any worse. So he was in there just dunking on the goal, like literally taking his frustrations out on the goal. And for somebody who just tore their ACL to be dunking in a 10-foot goal, wait a minute, a 6'3", 280-pound guy dunking in a 10-foot goal after having an ACL tear. I couldn't believe to this day I saw that.
All right, Billy. I'm not, we talk every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, you're a close friend of mine. I'm not saying I doubted you, but when you said you dunked the ball with an ACL and you ran a 4.58 40, I kind of believed it, but I guess it's true. We got somebody to verify it.
I saw that with my own two eyes. Yeah, that's verified. There's no fabrication. There's no exaggeration. That happened for real. That's true. 100% true.
This is awesome. Well, guys, we're fixing to go do some real talk, some unfiltered. We're not going to sugarcoat anything over in the locker room. Check it out in the description and in the comment section of this video for a link. And we're going over to the Volunteer Roadshow locker room. And we're going to chop up some more stuff, tell some old war stories. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Go check us out. Y'all know what's coming next. Thanks for tuning in. Go Vols.
Yes, sir.
Billy, I'm never going to doubt you again. I promise you that.
Yes, sir. I told you, Bobby. Hey, I keep it real. Keep it 100, man.
Hey, I promise you right now, if he didn't get hurt, he'd have been a first-round draft pick, top 10, for sure.